the tranquil garden of the mind, amidst the blooming lotuses of wisdom and compassion, there lurks a treacherous weed, anger. Like a venomous serpent, it coils itself around the heart, injecting its toxic poison into every thought, word, and action. In the teachings of Buddhism, anger and resentment are regarded as the deadliest of poisons, capable of destroying not only our inner peace, but also the harmony of our relationships and the well-being of our communities. Anger arises from a deeply rooted sense of aversion, a resistance to the way things are, a refusal to accept reality as it unfolds. When we cling to our desires and expectations, when we demand that the world conform to our wishes, we set ourselves up for disappointment and frustration. And from this fertile soil of discontent, anger blossoms forth, consuming our minds like a raging inferno. In Buddhism, anger is often likened to a wildfire that burns everything in its path, leaving only ashes in its wake. It clouds the mind, distorting our perception of reality, and impels us to act in ways that are harmful and unskillful. When consumed by anger, we become slaves to our emotions, prisoners of our own making, trapped in a cycle of suffering and delusion. Alongside anger, resentment festers like a hidden wound, poisoning our relationships and corroding our hearts. When we hold on to grievances, when we nurse feelings of resentment towards others, we only perpetuate our own suffering. Like a festering wound that refuses to heal, resentment eats away at our inner peace, feeding on our bitterness and discontent. Resentment is born from a sense of injustice, a feeling that we have been wronged or treated unfairly. Yet, in clinging to this sense of victimhood, we relinquish our power to transform our circumstances. Instead of finding liberation through forgiveness, we become prisoners of our own grievances, chained to the past and unable to move forward. In the face of anger and resentment, Buddhism offers a path of liberation, a path guided by the principles of compassion and forgiveness. Through the practice of mindfulness and loving kindness, we can transform the poisonous energies of anger and resentment into the nectar of inner peace and freedom. At the heart of the Buddhist path lies the practice of mindfulness, the art of being fully present in the moment with open-hearted awareness. By cultivating mindfulness, we develop the ability to observe our thoughts and emotions without being swept away by them. We learn to recognize the arising of anger and resentment, to witness their fleeting nature, and to respond with wisdom and compassion. In the words of the Buddha, hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love. This is the eternal rule. Through the practice of mindfulness, we come to understand the interconnectedness of all beings, recognizing that the seeds of anger and resentment reside within each of us. With this insight, we can cultivate compassion for ourselves and others, embracing our shared humanity with kindness and understanding. In addition to mindfulness, Buddhism teaches the cultivation of loving kindness, a boundless and unconditional love that embraces all beings without exception. Through the practice of loving kindness meditation, we offer wishes of goodwill and happiness to ourselves and others, transcending the barriers of ego and separation. Loving kindness is like a gentle rain that nourishes the parched earth of the heart, softening the hardened soil of anger and resentment. As we water the seeds of kindness within us, we create the conditions for compassion to flourish, transforming the landscape of our inner world with beauty and grace. Central to the Buddhist path is the practice of forgiveness, a courageous act of letting go, of releasing the grip of anger and resentment. Forgiveness does not mean condoning harmful behavior or denying our feelings of pain and injustice. Rather, it is a radical act of self-liberation, a declaration of independence from the tyranny of hatred and bitterness. In forgiving others, we free ourselves from the burden of carrying grudges and grievances. We relinquish the need for retribution and revenge, choosing instead the path of peace and reconciliation. As the Buddha said, holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. In the light of compassion and forgiveness, the poisonous energies of anger and resentment are transmuted into the nectar of inner peace and freedom. Like a lotus that emerges from the murky depths of the pond, our hearts blossom with wisdom and compassion, radiating love and light to all beings. Through the practice of mindfulness, loving kindness, and forgiveness, we liberate ourselves from the shackles of suffering and awaken to the boundless potential of our true nature. We become agents of transformation, ambassadors of peace, weaving a tapestry of harmony and goodwill wherever we go. In the garden of the mind, anger and resentment are but fleeting shadows, ephemeral illusions that obscure the radiant light of our true nature. Through the transformative power of compassion and forgiveness, we can transcend the limitations of ego and embrace the fullness of our humanity. May we water the seeds of kindness within us, tending to the garden of our hearts with care and mindfulness. May we cultivate the fruits of compassion and forgiveness, sowing the seeds of peace and happiness for ourselves and all beings. In the words of the Buddha, hatred never ceases by hatred, but by love alone is healed. This is the ancient and eternal law. May we walk this path of love and liberation together as one. Gather, my friends, as we embark on a captivating journey through this remarkable video. As you thirst for wisdom, generously share this extraordinary treasure with your esteemed companions. And let us not forget to remain connected by subscribing to our YouTube channel, where a continuous stream of transformative enlightenment awaits. Until our paths cross again, may you continue to radiate brilliance, exude excellence, and nurture your well-being with utmost care, for you are truly exceptional beings.